The Fisherman. Life has been overwhelming lately. Work, home, and everything in between. I haven't had a chance to go fishing all year. Fishing is my me time, a moment where I can leave all the stress behind. Today is Thursday, and there's a hint of warmth in the air, a rarity for this time of year. I knew I needed it more than ever. I packed my fishing gear and a change of clothes the night before, hoping that maybe, just maybe, I could sneak in a trip after work. At 5 p.m., as the clock struck, I rushed out of the office. The nearest river is on my way home, the perfect spot to cast a line. But I felt a twinge of hesitation. The last time I fished there, it was before the tragedy with my cousin. That river, its breadth ranges from 20 to 70 meters wide, with water that's not too deep but can get treacherous in places, particularly in the middle where the current runs fast and the water reaches up to your neck. It's surrounded by a thick forest, and the banks are just high enough to give you a feeling of seclusion. My cousin, the one person who loved fishing more than anyone I knew, drowned there, mysteriously. He was a strong swimmer, someone who practically lived on the water. No one thought it could happen to him. In my culture, there were certain beliefs on mysterious drownings. My elders always warned us about evil spirits lurking in waters, entities that could pull you down, trap your soul until another unfortunate soul took your place. Old superstitions, I reminded myself. But the sad memories of my cousin still haunted me, so I had avoided that river for years. Pulling into the parking lot, I noticed just a couple of cars. Looks like it's just me and nature today, I thought, trying to shake off the nerves. I grabbed my gear and walked down to the river, feeling the crunch of gravel under my boots. The river looked serene, with the sun slowly sinking below the horizon, painting the water with hues of gold and pink. I started casting near the parking area, but after 20 minutes with no luck, I moved downstream. The current was a little strong today, but nothing I couldn't handle if I stayed near the banks. Each time I cast and got no bite, I moved further downriver. And that's when I felt it, the unmistakable prickling on the back of my neck. I had the unsettling feeling I was being watched. "You're imagining things," I whispered to myself, glancing over my shoulder into the dense forest. But each time I turned back to face the water, I thought I saw a shadow shifting among the trees, pacing me. It moved swiftly, always staying just out of clear view. Was it an animal? Or something more? Determined to catch at least one fish, I waded further down, about a mile from where I started. The daylight was dwindling. I probably had less than an hour. "Last chance," I muttered, preparing for one final cast. As I pulled back, I saw a figure moving toward me from upstream. "Another fisherman?" I squinted. I hadn't seen anyone else around, and it seemed odd he'd just appear like that. I turned to start heading back, deciding I'd had enough for one day, but my foot caught on something underwater. "Damn it," I muttered, trying to tug it free. I bent over, feeling around in the murky water, when suddenly, a cold, pale hand shot up from the depths and latched onto my wrist with an iron grip. I screamed, tumbling forward into the water. Panic surged through me as I thrashed and kicked, the current pushing me deeper into the middle of the river. For a moment, my head broke the surface, and I gasped for air, my lungs burning. But as I was pulled back under, my eyes opened, and I saw him. My cousin, his face pale and eyes hollow, his mouth open in a silent scream. "No!" I choked, thrashing harder, the icy water pulling me down. I clawed and kicked, desperate to break free from the grip, but the current was strong, and I felt myself being dragged downstream. I fought with every ounce of strength left in me, inching closer to the bank. My legs burned. My chest felt like it would burst, but I kept moving. Finally, I stumbled onto the muddy riverbank, gulping in air, soaked and shivering. I scrambled up the slope, glancing back at the water, half expecting to see that pale face staring back at me. But there was nothing, just the steady flow of the river. Was it him? I whispered, my voice trembling. Was he trying to drown me and switch places? I stumbled through the forest, driven by sheer adrenaline and fear. The parking lot came into view and I sprinted, gasping for breath, not stopping until I reached my car. I fumbled with the keys, heart pounding. I started the car and peeled out of there, my eyes darting to the rearview mirror. Back at home, I felt numb. I barely registered the hot shower, the warm bed. When I woke the next morning, I tried to shake it off as a nightmare, some twisted trick of the mind. I turned on the morning news, trying to distract myself. That's when I saw the headline: "Wanted serial killer caught near local river." My heart stopped. They caught him not far from where I had been, and I remembered the man I had seen, the way he moved. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. Was it him? I muttered, feeling the blood drain from my face. But then, the image of my cousin's ghostly, desperate face flashed in my mind. Was my cousin's soul trying to switch places with me? Or save me?
Thank you for listening to this terrifying twist tale. Please support this channel by liking and subscribing.